high definition. This is KCAL 9 News at 9.
Now at 9, President Obama is back at the White House as he attempts to broker a budget deal to prevent automatic tax increases and spending cuts. Tomorrow, the president will meet with top congressional leaders as the fiscal cliff deadline gets dangerously closer. KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryant joins us live from the newsroom with details of the last-minute talks. Dave.
Lena, some angry words were exchanged in Washington today as the blame game kicks into high gear. The day's running out now. A flurry of activity from the White House to Capitol Hill, the Senate going back into session, and President Obama, as you said, set that 11th hour meeting with congressional leaders, just like the meeting they held last month.
I think we're all aware that we have some urgent business to do.
That was one of the few things the two sides did agree on the last time President Obama and congressional leaders sat around the fiscal cliff bargaining table in November. But on Friday, they'll try again to find enough areas of agreement to avoid going over the fiscal cliff.
The Senate will come to order.
The Senate was back in session, and Majority Leader Harry Reid blasted the Republican leadership in Congress, accusing Speaker John Boehner of acting like a dictator.
Speaker Boehner is unwilling to negotiate. We've not heard a word from Leader McConnell, and nothing's happening.
The GOP Senate leader fired back that it was Reid and the Democrats who failed to reach out or take action.
Now, Republicans have bent over backwards. We stepped way, way out of our comfort zone. We wanted an agreement, but we had no takers. The phone never rang, and so now here we are 5 days from the new year, and we might finally start talking.
Now the talk is about the scaled-down compromise plan Senator Reid has reportedly cobbled together during the Christmas holiday. CBS News reports the bill would extend the Bush-era tax cuts for Americans making less than $250,000 a year. Under heavy pressure, Speaker Boehner called the House to go back into session on Sunday, the day before the fiscal cliff deadline, when income and payroll tax cuts are set to expire and $110 billion of spending cuts will begin to kick in. And that could be a hard blow to the California-based defense contractors and could ultimately result in more layoffs. And 2 million jobless Americans will lose their unemployment benefits, many of them in California. Republican Congressman Tom McClintock says President Obama's intransigence on taxes is the big problem.
This government was never designed to operate with the president and a couple of legislative leaders getting together and hammering out some sort of grand bargain.
But Democratic Congresswoman Karen Bass believes the fiscal cliff could be avoided if Speaker Boehner would allow a vote in the House on the compromise.
Boehner has essentially had a policy that says unless the majority of his caucus is willing to vote for the bill, he won't bring the bill up. And that's a problem when you have so many members of his caucus that are members of the Tea Party and that are beholden to Grover Norquist. That essentially puts you in a deadlock.
Plenty of hard feelings on both sides. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid accusing House Speaker John Boehner of putting his own political future ahead of the best interest of the country by not allowing a vote on a stopgap compromise plan to extend the Bush tax cuts, which would antagonize, Reid says, the Tea Party Republicans. Live in the newsroom, Dave Bryant, KCAL 9 News. Lena, back to you.
All right.